Hi, I'm Richard Rogers, and I absolutely hope that you enjoy today's spiritual message. You know, we at Unity of Phoenix Spiritual Center are committed to helping people live better lives. We're going to provide you tools over and over, spiritual tools that allow you to live your best possible life. And if you want to leave a donation to continue to allow the work that we do to support other people just like you, we say thank you. Thank you for your generosity, because this ministry is committed to making the world a better place. So we're doing Game On. True? Okay, so we got 30 days to play the game of Game On. And Richard and I did this a few years ago as an activity. We were playing with it, and we said, what if we just brought it into the whole church? And the way that we did it a few years ago was much more elaborate, and we kind of simplified it so that we could share it with the whole congregation. And I'm so excited that we do this once a month, because you get to decide if you want to play or not. I'm going to encourage you to play. I'm going to encourage you to play. I'm going to really, really, really encourage you to play. But you get to decide how much you play, right? But I'm going to invite you to play. So the first step, right? The first part of this challenge is physical. And if you have a cheat sheet, you can go ahead and play. But you know what it is? 20 minutes every day. 20 minutes. Now, some of you are doing way more than that, and some of us aren't, right? And so the idea is 20 minutes a day dedicated to you doing something that's physical that actually gets your heart rate up. Now, does it have to be like so strenuous that you fall over? No, you just have to keep your body moving for 20 minutes. Do you have to do the whole 20 minutes at one time? No. You just have to do 20 minutes. If it takes you 5 times of 4 minutes each to get to 20 minutes, then that's what it's going to do. But we're just going to start, right? So it's the idea of 20 minutes a day, you're all about your physical body, right? Then the next one is spiritual. And again, it's how many? 20 minutes. Okay, how many of you would rather pluck your eyes out than spend 20 minutes in silence? Right? So this is 20 minutes in prayer and meditation, deepening your relationship with God. Well, if it takes God 20 minutes, he did the whole universe in 7 days. It really shouldn't take 20 minutes of prayer and meditation. I should really be able to do this in like 30 seconds, right? But the idea is 20 minutes a day for you to focus on your spiritual nature, for you to connect with God in you. Now, how many of you would like a little help on how to meditate in 2 minutes or less? Okay, great. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to write, I am, and then fill in the blank. I am one with God. I am one with God's love. I'm one with God's peace. I'm one with God's joy. And that's your affirmation. That's your declaration. That's your mantra. And every time your mind begins to wander, you just come back to that thought. I'm one with God. I'm one with... And every time you think about, did I turn the iron off? Then you come back to, I am one with God's love. I am one with God's peace. Pick one of those ideas. Now, for 30 days, could you meditate just on the idea that you are one with God's love? Yes. Do you need to change it every day for the whim of the day? No. Like, I would rather have you pick one idea and go deep in it than pick 30 different ideas and do a flyover. Right? Because is God deeper than you think God is? Is your soul more connected to God than you realize it is? So if we do a spiritual flyover, it's kind of entertaining, but we don't really get the depth of the benefit of this. That for 30 days, you're going to spend 20 minutes every day. Now, is there going to be a Tuesday where you absolutely don't want to do it? Yes, where I'm sure reruns of Leave It to Beaver are going to look more important, right, than you doing your 20 minutes, right? And are you going to do your 20 minutes anyway? Yes. And are there going to be days when your mind is wandering so hard and so fast that you may only get one thought, I am one with God's love, and the rest of the time your mind is just off and it's uncontrollable? Yes. Right? But do you do it anyway? Yes. So the 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, what are we up to? And how many minutes do we have left? Okay. So we do 10 minutes on mental. Now, what does that mean? It means if 10 minutes of inspirational reading, right? But it's actually inspirational reading. It's writing your affirmations. It's doing the things that you know how to do every day to master your mind. How many of you feel like your mind is really like out of control? Anybody? Like where did that thought come from, right? So, and I'm going to talk about this more next week, but I want you to spend 10 minutes every day mastering your mind so that you're actually programming your mind on the dominant thoughts that you want to be thinking. Instead of letting your mind just be in charge, you know, anybody got those little vacuum cleaners, the little things that just go around and they vacuum your house willy-nilly? And like, I think that's the way I see my mind sometimes. Like there's no adult supervision at all, right? It goes here, it goes there, it chases the cat, it does whatever it wants to do, right? And I want you to really focus for the next 30 days, and we're really focus next week on 10 minutes a day to really master your thinking, to master your mind, to be in charge of your thought process so that you actually know what you want your dominant thoughts to be. Because when you've decided, when you've made a commitment to master your mind, when you know what you want your dominant thoughts to be, you have a place to come back to over and over again. Because your thoughts are going to get interesting. But if you don't have a dominant thought to come back to, then it's out of the barn and it's gone. Right? So, and then we have 10 minutes to do our emotional work, emotional fitness. Right? And what might that look like? Could you imagine doing 10 minutes every day on your forgiveness work? Can you imagine that maybe you have 10 minutes for the next 30 days, that every day if you just did 10 minutes of forgiveness work, it could clear up a lot of stuff in your life? If you did 10 minutes of just letting go of all your drama and your stories. If you spent 10 minutes every day just letting go of all the things, all the grudges, all the resentments that you hold on to, can you imagine if you did 10 minutes every day that you could master your emotions? Anybody else feel like their emotions are also out of control? Like that 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, and who knows what that minute moment's going to be? So this is really about 1 hour a day to master your life. Okay, 1 hour. And it all starts tonight with your body. How many of you would like to have a different relationship with your body? I would. Both hands go up for that one for me. Right? So 20 minutes, what are you going to do? How many of you know that you could just walk your own neighborhood for 20 minutes a day? How many of you say if it's too hot, you could go walk the mall? You know they actually at PV Mall, they actually let you walk your dog inside the mall because it's too hot? I did not know that. You can actually take little Fido with you and walk little Fido with you around the mall, and they're fine with that. I was trying to hide. My Fido's a big Fido, and they said it's fine. It's like fantastic, right? 20 minutes a day. Now, I'm gonna, because you know me, if something's good, too much is just about right? So we're gonna take up the game a little bit under physical, right? So I've got 3 things I want you to look at. First one is, I want you to weigh yourself. Whoa! I want you to dust that baby off, put a new battery in it, right? I want you to weigh yourself. I want you to weigh yourself tonight, tomorrow. I'm weighing myself, and I am not looking forward to it. And we are going to weigh ourselves because we're going to spend 30 days, and I want you to see the benefit. Because if you don't weigh yourself, you'll do this for 30 days, and that will be a nice thing, but nothing will change. But if you see 1 pound and then another pound and another pound, click off is like, well, this may work. Right? So how many of you would be willing to weigh yourself in the next 24 hours? Wow, okay, great. So we're going to weigh ourselves, right? Now, if you want to share, if you want to put it on my Facebook page, every time you, not your weight. No, please, no. Even I saw that line, right? Even I saw that line. I was not going over that. I just saw horror in a woman's face like I've never seen it before, like, right? If you want to just share on my Facebook page, if you drop a pound, right? If you want to just share that. Now, you don't get to count the same pound over and over again. Right? Like if you drop one and you put it back on and you drop it and you put it back on, that's not really 4 pounds. That's 1 pound that's been very active. Right? So if you want to put it on my Facebook page, I would love to hear how you're doing as you're going through this so that you can see, because I need the inspiration, right? So I want you to put that. So the first thing is I want you to weigh yourself. Second thing is I want you to look at 3 foods that you're making a commitment to eat and 3 foods you're making a commitment not to eat for the next 30 days. 3 foods that you're willing to eat this month, and 3 foods that you're not willing to eat, or that you're willing to not eat, right? So the idea is one of those foods may be water. How many of you know that you need to drink more water during this time, right? So your number might be, I'm going to drink 8 big glasses of water every day during this time. That may be one of your pro foods. And maybe one of the things you're going to take off your list is broccoli. Right? Right? And then I want you to look at this. So your weight, 3 foods on, 3 foods off. And then the last one is, I want you to pay attention to your stress. Because we are little stress monkeys. Right? And I want you to really pay attention to how much stress and anxiety you have and how much of a connection that is between your eating. Anybody else know that they're stress eaters? Right. So here's the deal. We are far more stressed out than we like to believe. We are medicating ourselves at an incredible rate in our culture because of stress and anxiety. I want you to really monitor for the next 30 days how much anxiety you have, how much stress you have. And I want you to see it as you're doing this and this. Oh, no, I didn't cross it out. I was trying to underline it. Right? As you're doing this and this, if it doesn't help with your stress level. So over and over again, what I want you to see is that as you actually take dominion and mastery over your life, because that's what this is all about, right? That we are learning to take dominion and mastery over our life. And I bet that there's one area in your life, I just believe it, where you have felt out of control, or where you haven't felt that you've been the most empowered version of yourself. And over again, when we take a look at these 4 areas, you're going to be able to see which is the area in your life where you felt the most out of control. Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it emotional? Is it spiritual? And as we practice this in simple ways, now 1 hour seems like a lot, I know. But as you actually begin to feed your soul, as you take dominion over your life, I think everything in your life is going to get better. Everybody take a breath. I am ready for a new relationship with life. Will you say that with me? Okay, I want you to see, I've got 5 ideas why I think taking dominion over your body and really having a different relationship with your body is a good idea. And what I want you to see is over and over again is Anybody remember the Jell-O 1, 2, 3 cup? It came out in the 60s, and so I'm kind of dating myself. But it was this Jell-O 1, 2, 3 cup. And what it was this dessert treat that you could make, and you stirred it up, and you poured it in a glass, a parfait glass, and it would separate out, right? Do you remember? So the Jell-O would be on the bottom, not the Jell-O. Yeah, the Jell-O would be on the bottom, and it would get progressively fluffier as it got to the top, right? And the idea was, it was supposed to be like this elaborate dessert, that you got for 15 cents or whatever it was, right? But what I want you to see is here is in our mind, we separate these 4 components. And we see them as different. And we believe that this is our spiritual, and this is our physical, and this is our mental, and this is our emotional. And we believe that there's actually lines. That we compartmentalize all this stuff. But the reality, it's kind of like the Jell-O 1, 2, 3 thing. Right? It's just the Jell-O is the clear bottom. Right? And then as we go around, it gets progressively more and more dense. But the truth is, we're all energy. And as we work on any aspect of ourselves, it has an impact on all of us. So the first area that I really want you to see as we're moving into really mastering our physical existence is the first one is discipline. How many of you can see that as you make a 20-minute commitment to yourself every day, that it's going to build an inner level of discipline, right? And the scripture that I like is from the Old Testament. It's from the book of Wisdom, which is a Catholic canonized book of the Old Testament. And it says, having been disciplined a little, they will receive great good, because God has tested them and found them worthy. So what I want you to really look at is some of you really have physical discipline down. You're amazing at how physically disciplined you are, how much you make yourself work out and all the things that you're doing and you're eating. And maybe when it comes to mental or emotional or spiritual, you don't have that same level of discipline. But as we begin to practice being disciplined in this area, it actually begins to move and support us in every area of our life. So the first one is 20 minutes a day is a discipline. Is there going to be a day where your ego doesn't want to do it? Can you already think of some good excuses why you shouldn't have to do it? That's the joy of living in the desert. We always can say it's too hot, right? And we're right, it's too hot, right? And 5 o'clock in the morning is early. It's like the best time of day is 5 a.m., right? But it's crazy. Who wants to get up at 5 a.m.? Nobody, or a very few, right? But sometimes that's what you need to do if you're going to be disciplined. So the next thing, once we get okay with discipline, is flexibility. How many can see that there's a connection between being physically flexible and being mentally, emotionally, and spiritually flexible? That as our body gets rigid, that also sometimes our thinking gets rigid, and our emotions get rigid, and our spiritual life gets rigid. That part of keeping our body flexible is it keeps everything flexible, right? One of the scriptures I like is from Philippians 4. I know that I know what is I have a. Wait, let me start again. I know what it is to have a little. I know what it is to have plenty. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being well fed and going hungry, of having plenty and having need. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And I love that line. I know what it's like to have a little. I know what it's like to have plenty. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being well fed and going hungry, of having plenty and of having need. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. How many of you have an attachment to the way life is supposed to show up for you? How many of you get unhappy when it doesn't show up that way? Right? Can you see the benefit in being flexible? Like that God, has God forsaken you or punished you when it's not working out exactly the way you wanted it? Yes, Mark is saying yes, right? Yeah, Mark, you're right, Mark. God is punishing you. You're the only one in the room, but yes, you're right. Right, so I want you to really look at, as we get stronger, as we're working out every 20 minutes, not every 20 minutes, as we're working out 20 minutes a day, that's for you who go way, way too far, right? Is you're going to get more flexible. And the third one is, I want you to see the benefit that you're going to get stronger. In Isaiah 40, read, He gives strength to the weary. He increases power to the weak. Even the youth grow tired and weary. The young men stumble and fall. But those that have faith in the Lord, He will renew their strength. And they will soar like eagle's wings. And they will run and they will not grow weary. They will walk and they will not faint. And the third one is balance. How many of you have ever had a challenge with balance in your life? How many of you have had a challenge with balance as you get older? Like, what I want you to see is that as we're actually doing this work, 20 minutes a day, I believe that your balance is going to become better in every way. How many of you remember Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8? For everything there's a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which has been planted. That there's a time, there's a season, there's a balance. And the fifth one is endurance. And from Matthew 24, but for he who endures to the end, he will be saved. Okay? So here's your homework. You ready? Your homework is to invest an hour a day just in you. Right? Now, how many of you have ever felt like spending too much energy on yourself is selfish? Wrong, bad, you know. So this is an hour a day that you carve out 6 out of 7 days, because you get a cheat day, right? I don't want you to use your cheat day, but you have it just in case, right? Just in case at 11:15 you can't get out and walk 20 minutes before the stroke of midnight, and you call it your cheat day. But I want you to see tonight that you have the ability to give yourself 1 hour to master life. To master life. 20 minutes to walk, to exercise, to master your body. 10 minutes, a mental activity to really master your thoughts. 10 minutes every day to master your emotions. And 20 minutes every day to go deep into God. 1 hour. 1 hour. And you get to invest in you. And the thing that is so cool is if you actually take the sheet of paper, you actually can tell yourself the truth. Like, did I actually take 20 minutes to meditate every day? Did I actually put my shoes on and go outside and walk for 20 minutes every day? Did I write my affirmations? Did I read my inspirational thoughts for 10 minutes every day? Did I spend 10 minutes every day doing my forgiveness work? Now, how many of you know that you should probably do this on a regular basis anyway? Right? How many of you are not always so disciplined as to actually do it every day? Game on. Right? That's what this is. It's game on. That this is what you know you should be doing anyway. And now you get to decide in a structure to do it. Now, there's actually prizes. What? There's more? Yes. If you fill out the form every week and bring it back to church, and you have to circle which service you attend, you can actually bring it back. You'll get a ticket. You'll be entered in, and you could win prizes. Do you know what the prizes are? It doesn't matter. I know, but it still doesn't matter. Right? Because what's the prize? Us. We're the winners. If you need, is it a TV or is it a massage? What's the big one? No, I think it's a massage dinner. It's a chocolate cake. No. It's $250 spa treatment. You're going to feel so ripped. You're going to feel so strong. You're not going to be willing to wait to get that massage because you know that you're going to bless that person with just how amazing your body is on their table. Okay, so you ready? Game on. If you haven't started already, it starts tonight. That means if you're going to walk to get to your car, you're going to have to make a few laps around the parking lot. Right? If you haven't already done your 20 minutes, you're going to have to make a few more laps around to get 20 minutes in. Now, are you going to be able to see if you actually walk 20 minutes a day, are you going to get further in the 30th day than you are the first day? Yes. You're going to see the benefits in your life, in your body, in everything that you do because you're taking dominion and mastery over your life. Like, we don't have to just go through the motions. We can actually be in charge of our own life. Will you pray with me? I invite you to open your mind, your heart, your soul to the activity of God that is right here, right now. There is so much good. There is so much God. Today I take mastery. I take dominion. I decide. I'm the master of my faith. And I decide it's time. In the name and through the power of the living Christ, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen.